Right now, there is a legal fight happening in Washington that most people have never heard of, and it could determine whether one of the world's most powerful social media platforms gets to operate without any government oversight indefinitely. Privacy advocates have filed an urgent warning with the Federal Trade Commission, asking regulators to reject Elon Musk's bid to end external monitoring of X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Their argument is direct. X poses a serious risk to Americans' privacy. To understand why this matters, you need a little backstory. Back in 2022, Twitter settled with the FTC over charges that it had misused user data. Specifically, phone numbers and emails collected for security purposes were used to target ads. That settlement came with a consent decree, a binding agreement that put Twitter under ongoing federal supervision. When Musk bought the platform and rebranded it as X, that consent decree came with it. For years, the FTC has had the legal authority to monitor X's data practices, demand compliance reports, and hold the company accountable. Now X wants out. The platform's legal team is asking the FTC to terminate the consent decree early, before the agreed-upon oversight period has expired. The FTC under the current administration appears to be considering it. That is what has privacy groups alarmed. So who actually gets affected here? The answer is almost anyone with a pulse and a smartphone. X has roughly 600 million monthly active users globally, with well over 100 million in the United States alone. Every post, every like, every search query, every direct message, that is all data. But the privacy concern isn't just about ads anymore. X now owns Grok, an AI assistant built by Musk's company xAI, and deeply integrated into the platform. Grok is trained on data. X's data, your data. Privacy advocates argue that without active FTC oversight, there is no reliable mechanism to stop X from feeding user data into AI training pipelines in ways users never consented to, cannot see, and cannot opt out of. This is not a hypothetical. X already faced backlash in 2023 when it quietly updated its privacy policy to allow user content to be used for AI training. The company later gave users a partial opt-out, but it was buried, hard to find, and on by default. Now think about what else X knows. If you've ever used Sign In with X on a third-party app, connected your account to your phone contacts, or simply browsed while logged in, X has built a behavioral profile on you that goes far beyond what you've posted. The forces at play here are bigger than one company. This is happening inside a broader political context where deregulation is in fashion. The current FTC leadership has signaled a preference for lighter touch enforcement, especially toward companies with allies in the White House. Musk's proximity to the federal government, through his role advising the administration and his company's contracts with federal agencies, creates a conflict of interest that critics say is impossible to ignore. The regulator is being asked to release a company whose owner has significant political leverage over that same regulator. And this isn't just a domestic issue. AI regulation is becoming a geopolitical chess match. The European Union has already moved against X under the Digital Services Act. If the FTC backs down, it signals to the rest of the world that the United States is not serious about reining in its own tech giants. So, what happens next? There are a few possible futures. In the first, the FTC grants X's request, the consent decree ends, and X operates with no federally mandated oversight of its data practices. Privacy advocates have almost no legal recourse. In the second scenario, the FTC rejects the request or delays it pending further review. This would be a rare act of institutional backbone in the current climate, but it would keep the legal framework intact and preserve some accountability. In the third scenario, and this is the one worth watching, Congress steps in. Several lawmakers have already introduced data privacy legislation that would apply broadly to AI companies. If this case creates enough public pressure, it could accelerate that effort. Here is what you should actually know coming out of this. Consent decrees are one of the few real tools regulators have. They are not red tape, they are the result of proven wrongdoing. When a company that settled data abuse charges asks to escape oversight while also building AI tools trained on user data, that is not a routine legal request. That is a significant escalation. You should also know that your data is not a byproduct of using these platforms. It is the product. Every interaction you have with X is a data point that can train models, target behavior, and build influence systems, whether or not you ever signed up for that. The question the FTC is being asked right now is deceptively simple. Should we keep watching? The answer will tell us a great deal about who this regulatory era is actually designed to protect. Watch this space because the decision is coming soon, and it will set a precedent that reaches far beyond X.